Hello and welcome back. My name is Domiko L. Cunningham, better known as Dr. Media. So, as many people know, I am currently working on a VR application, and the VR application in question, we're not going to talk about it right now. I know, dun dun dun. But anyway, what I wanted to get through in this next set of videos was actually talking about something that is very much used in the VFX community and just cinema in general, which is the idea of camera mapping or photogrammetric modeling. So photogrammetry or photogrammetric modeling. So it's not really super new, but we've been able to camera map for a very long time inside of Max and Maya. Maya can also do camera mapping as well, but Max has some tools that are very useful when it comes to camera mapping. But being able to take an actual photograph, take elements from it, and project those onto 3D objects, that has been the mainstay for film production, for visual effects rather. That has been a mainstay for many years, to be able to quickly build a set from a photograph. So I'm going to show you how to go through that process. So right here I have an actual Miss NASA. Yes, at one time NASA did have a Miss NASA contest. So Miss NASA right here, we've got her sitting on one of the Apollo capsules. And first thing we had to think about is how we want to break this image up. So this image needs to be broken up. Now I've already broken up my image a fair amount. So I'll turn off the background layer. So my background layer is off, and I'll show you what I actually have in here as my layers. So the first layer in here that I have, this is actually a blank layer. So my second layer is Miss NASA. There she is, sitting, smiling, lovely, sitting right there. She's like, hey, hello, how are you? And then I have, this is a stray piece of metal right here. And I also have the door, I have the hatch, and I have the actual capsule. And then I have the background on another layer all to itself. So all together, if I turn these off, so you can see that these three main layers right here, so these three guys, and I can get rid of these really quick. These are just stray layers I was working with. So, but these three layers right here, or four layers right here rather, make up the crux of what my kind of scene is. So I have a definite foreground, I've got a definite middle ground, I've got some things going on in the middle ground, and I have a definite background. And then there are also some cues from this actual image that can help me understand what perspective is like within this scene. So I've got some perspective lines going on in here. I've got these vertical lines here, I've got some vanishing lines here, so I've got a vanishing point going this way, and it looks like I got a back wall right about here vanishing down. It looks like a back wall right there. And then I've also got some things that are coming at angles, at least coming towards me this way, so I can see my vanishing point here for X. So I can see a lot of these vanishing point pieces. So these are going to help me once I bring this into Max to actually be able to extract my vanishing point. Now, inside of Photoshop, you want to think about how to break up your image as best as possible. So I can see in here what I've done with this. I've broken the girl out. So what I did, now when I removed the girl out of this, when I removed Miss NASA, I had to go back and recreate the pieces of my capsule that are not there. So all this down here, you'll notice that this has been recreated. The original image, if I knock the original image away, if I bring up the original image, you can see she had her legs over all of this area. So I actually had to go back in here and recreate this part of the capsule from other pieces of the capsule. Not as hard as it seems. Really, you're going to be using your Photoshop skills in here and get in here and just get kind of dirty. Now, the interior parts of the capsule, I'm probably going to replace this with another image. I'm going to find like another capsule image and probably do some finagling and fix this with that. I'm going to fix this with another image, honestly. And I have the door hatch here, that's broken out by itself. Now, honestly, the other thing I would want to break out by themselves would be the door handles. So I can see there's a handle right here and a handle right here. These are overlapping the door, so I would want to use geometry for this. And then the main part of the actual capsule is gonna be an overall cone. I've got like a door shape here, and then some of this stuff up here, which I can capture with another cone maybe. Kind of the shapes, kind of cone-like. So I can get that pretty easy. I can use just a polygon to map the wall and floor and everything else onto. So I've got a great idea of how I want to be able to map this. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to save out my image from Photoshop. I'm going to save this guy out. I'm just going to save it out as a JPEG. So I've already got that saved as a JPEG onto my desktop. So let's bounce over here into Max. So I'm going to start with a brand new scene just so we can start this up from nothing. And let's start a brand new scene and new all. So everything is gone. The only thing that's still here is my actual background image, and I'm going to delete that really quick and then go back through this whole process. So when I first get into Max, I'm going to be presented with just my quad windows. So I've got my perspective, front, top, and usually this is left, but I changed it, so my left. So in here, what I really want to do is in my perspective view, I want to go to perspective, go here to the little plus sign, click on my plus, go down to configure viewports, and I'm going to go to the background tab, so background, and I'm going to come in here to where it says use files. And I'm going to say I want to match rendering output, or you can match the viewport, or you can even match the bitmap. So I might do match bitmap, just so it gets my whole bitmap. Come here to my bitmap tab, so match bitmap, and I'm going to say files, and let's actually go and run to the desktop and find my file. And there it is, there's my JPEG right there, and I'm going to hit open. And I'm going to say apply to active view, and then hit OK. So you can see right now, there's my image. Everything came in, it all looks hunky-dory. Everything looks immaculate, and it looks like everything is fine. So everything came in with my image. So how can I start to use this, and how can I actually make my perspective inside of here match up with what's going on? So I'm going to hit Alt W so I can maximize my viewport really quick. And right now, if I rotate around, you'll see my perspective, my grid is way up here. So my grid's kind of just in there, right? So the grid's kind of just in there, and it's not really, you know, there's nothing, I really can't tell where the grid lines up at. I could kind of try to fake it and kind of try to get this in the same perspective and, you know, could muck around in here. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to actually end up making myself a camera and then using that camera to actually use perspective match and get this a little bit better lined up. So how do I do that? So I'll show you how we do that. So first off, I'm going to hit Control C, and that makes me a brand new camera. Now when it makes my camera, it makes me a target camera. You cannot use the perspective match with target cameras. So I'm going to come to this camera, I'm going to click on camera 01, and I'm going to come in here to my modify panel, and I'm going to go down here to where it says type. I'm going to change the type to a free camera, and now it's a free camera. So now it doesn't have a target setting on it. So that's the first thing. Now I can still see my grid in here, and that's what I want. I'm going to come here to the little utilities tab, and I'm going to click on perspective match, and then I'm going to click on show vanishing lines. So by clicking on that, you can see all of my vanishing lines, and I can kind of see where everything is at. If I rotate this, you know, I can kind of see how my camera is actually able to move and be able to orbit my camera around and see where the stuff is going. So I really want to use these lines to set up where my vanishing points are at. So I already know that Z is straight up and down. So I'm going to use this guy, I'm going to use this pole right here to help me get Z. So there's Z right there. And we'll use this other pipe right here to get Z. And so I've got my Z kind of figured out. There's my Z. Now I need to figure out which way my X is going to go. So actually, let's do, yeah, we can do our Y. Let's do our Y right now. So my Y, there's one guideline up here for the top of the wall. And I'm just going to get that kind of laid out right there. And then it's really hard to see, but my other guideline was kind of running kind of this way on my floor. Kind of ran like this. And then my X, which would be coming out towards us, I could end up using, let's say, I end up using like this line right here, kind of for X. And we'll just use another parallel to this. And this looks like it's actually kind of where we really want it to be at. So now, by using this, you can see I got my perspective match. Now I can change the distance of my camera, because I'm doing camera adjustments right here. And you can still rotate it. And I can change the vertical. So I'm going to put this down like on the ground plane. And you can also change the horizontal and move this over. And I'll push my distance back a little bit more. Maybe move this. So I'm getting my ground plane kind of set up inside of here. So I think that this perspective here kind of really matches my scene. I like the way this is looking. And so I'm going to keep that. So I'm going to turn off perspective match. So now I do not want to move my camera. So what I want to do is I'm going to hit Alt W and come out of my camera mode. So you can see there's my perspective camera sitting right there's my actual camera 001 sitting right there. So what I want to do with this camera, I'm going to right click on that camera and I'm going to say freeze selection. So now my camera is frozen and I can't move my camera. So the way this works is I'm going to actually open up perspective. There's my perspective window, so I can still rotate around inside of perspective. So perspective's still here. The trick of this is that when I make objects in my camera 01, they should match up to the actual vanishing lines of the actual image. So let's try it out. I'm going to come here to my command panel and go to create. And I'm going to go over here to create geometry. And I'm just going to go and get a cone. So I'm going to create a cone. So I'm going to drag out a cone, drag up height, and then left click again. So I'll go through this again. So to drag out my cone, I'm going to left mouse click and drag, let go of the left mouse button and drag up the height, and then I'm going to click the left mouse button one more time, and then I can pull it in and then get my cone, and then click one last time and I'm done making my cone. So now to modify my cone, I can come over here to the modify panel. And what I want to do, remember, I do not want to move this camera 01 around, but I can move the objects around inside of the camera view. So I'm going to look through this. I'm going to go to X-ray mode. So I'm going to press Alt and X so I can see through it. And I'm going to pull my cone kind of into the direction where this looks like where it would sit at. Now I can still modify this cone. I can change the radius of the cone, so I can make it a little bit wider down here and a little bit wider up here. Looks a little bit better. I'm going to pull it over right about there, and I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger. So you see I'm not scaling it. I'm actually just changing the size of the cone, and I'm going to change the height of the cone like right about here. Let's maybe bring this in a little bit right about there. And let's change the height a little bit more. And that looks kind of good. I'm going to push out my bottom radius a little bit more. So let's push out this bottom radius kind of like that. So it looks like it's matched up pretty well. It's pretty well matched up in there. So I can start modeling on this. Now I want to model this in my perspective view and not in the camera view, because I can't rotate this camera view. It's already matched up the way I want it to be, so I locked it down. So to actually edit this, I'm going to right click on my object, go down here to convert to, and I'm going to say convert to editable poly.